This is where the EU ends. This fence separates Poland and Belarus. Built in 2021 to keep asylum seekers out, it cuts through a nature reserve.
What are the human costs? What are the environmental costs? Is it effective?
The Bialowieza forest could lose its UNESCO status.
Because of the migrants, people are suddenly here in the forest all year round.
Can Europe reconcile its security policy with nature conservation? Europe's last primeval forest covers 1,400 square kilometers. Nature conservation expert Mateusz Szymura shows us the forest.
We're in the northern part of the national park, where you can see very large oak trees along with other tree species. The most important elements for biodiversity here are the dying and dead trees, but to see them, you have to go into the forest.
Ale żeby to zobaczyć, to trzeba się udać do lasu.
We are about 2 kilometers from the Belarusian border, in the middle of the Polish section of the Bialowieza forest. Szymura shows us the forest's unique features. Here, among the branches, seedlings have a good chance of growing into mature trees. This moss stores moisture and helps reduce fire risk. A fallen tree like this takes about 40 years to rot, but stays part of the ecosystem, releasing minerals and providing a habitat for insects and fungi.
We protect the processes that take place here. The forest is changing, and we cannot predict how it will look in a few decades or even centuries. But what will those conditions be? No one knows.
The Bialowieza forest is around 10,000 years old, the oldest forest standing in Europe. 1/3 of it lies in Poland and 2/3 in Belarus. In 1979, it was declared a World Heritage Site. The yellow part is the Polish Bialowieza National Park, which is strictly protected. In 2021, Poland built a border fence through the middle of the forest to stop people from Syria, Afghanistan, and African countries who quickly appeared at the border in their thousands. Poland says Russia is using migrants to wage hybrid warfare by channeling them through Belarus into the European Union. Border authorities have registered thousands of attempted crossings each year, and up to 60% of them take place in the Bialowieza forest, where it's easiest to slip into the dense undergrowth after crossing the border.
I've noticed in certain places where I used to encounter animals, they're now gone. I know it's because there were large numbers of migrants there, so it has an impact.
Katarzyna Nowak is an expert on environmental conditions of border areas and researches the impact of border expansion on nature.
It's not just that something has been built through the middle, it's also that the human activities and the maintenance and the additional fortifications, this has all been ongoing. So we talk about the infrastructure being ready in July 2022. That was 3 years ago, and yet we're still seeing large machinery, construction vehicles, the additions of razor wire through the middle of the fence that you can see here. We're seeing the rows of dragon teeth. We're now seeing the paving of the road.
She documents the impacts: wolves and lynxes unable to mate with their Belarusian counterparts, destroyed trees run over animals, plastic waste, and a bison separated from its pack behind the fence.
We've created this multiple barrier system that is now an obstacle to animal movement, which will ultimately play a role in their genetic makeup.
We want to see the border fence up close. And we receive special permission from the local border authorities to do so. 5,000 border guards and soldiers guard the 50-kilometer-long border fence that runs through the forest here. When we arrive, we see how much it has been reinforced in recent months. More barbed wire, more cameras, more surveillance. The number of successful crossings has fallen dramatically in 2025. The Polish government has suspended the right to asylum here. Migrants and aid organizations report pushbacks to Belarus. Just a few meters away, backpacks with thermal blankets and empty bottles, presumably brought here by volunteers who assist refugees at the border. Some 200,000 visitors come to the Bialowieza National Park every year. Most of them come to see the bison. By the late 20th century, the animals were almost extinct. Today's European population was rebuilt from just a few animals here in Bialowieza.
Every fourth bison in the world is from Poland.
Veterinarians and biologists study the animals' health and how to breed them. Today, 880 bison live in the Polish part of the forest. They play a key role in preserving the ecosystem. Their feeding habits contribute to the survival of other species, but the small gene pool is a problem.
A bull named Plish played a major role in breeding. He has approximately 36 descendants, and his genotype now accounts for a very large proportion of the entire bison population. The species has gone through a genetic bottleneck. Inbreeding is very high.
Physical borders restrict the movement of animals and people worldwide. The most famous border fence runs between Mexico and the United States, stretching 1,100 kilometers. It cuts through one of North America's richest habitats. Large predators like the jaguar are especially threatened. The barrier separates the animals from each other. For years, the so-called Balkan route between Slovenia and Croatia was also separated by a fence. This is now being dismantled. It failed to stop migration. In Poland, there's no plan to dismantle the fence. The wildlife crossings built into the fence are never opened. National security outweighs environmental protection. Katarzyna Nowak wants to protect nature here. She believes better cooperation with border guards would help safeguard both the forests and the people.
Ideally, we would work together to stop feeding wild animals along the border so that we don't get these unnatural concentrations of wild animals and people, which can lead to pathogen transmission. In addition, there are now domestic animals at the outposts, so some of the soldiers keep domestic cats for company probably at the outposts. So now we have this meeting of domestic animals, wild animals, and people. And this needs to at some point be addressed together because it's a One Health issue.
Researchers say border protection and nature conservation must work more closely together. And that includes transparent environmental monitoring. Only then will the ecological diversity of Bialowieza National Park stand a chance of surviving for thousands of years to come.